In a world dominated by big-name watch brands, some of the most interesting timepieces come from smaller independent makers. These microbrands and independent watches often bring unique designs, thoughtful craftsmanship, and a strong sense of identity. From Italian elegance to American field watches and German precision, each brand tells a story. Today, we'll explore a collection of small brands that truly impressed us and left a lasting impression. Echone Neutra is an Italian watch brand founded with a clear connection to alpine exploration and mid-century design. The name comes from Piz Boe in the Dolomites, and that sense of balance and restraint carries through the brand's entire lineup. Rather than chasing vintage replicas, Echone Neutra focuses on reinterpretation, taking familiar shapes and refining them into something calm and contemporary. The designs feel deliberate, with clean dial layouts, slim bezels, and carefully chosen proportions. One of the brand's best-known models is the Rivanera, particularly in its grey dial configuration. It highlights Echone Neutra's approach well, with applied markers, long hands, and a case that feels elegant without being delicate. Swiss movements are commonly used, paired with solid case finishing and thoughtful dial textures. Echone Neutra doesn't rely on storytelling or nostalgia alone. Instead, it builds quiet confidence through consistency. These watches feel designed for people who value subtle details and long-term enjoyment over instant attention. Oceaneva makes its focus clear from the start. This brand specializes in dive watches with high-depth ratings and robust engineering. Models like the Deep Marine Explorer showcase the brand's approach: thick cases, helium escape valves, and strong bracelets paired with reliable Swiss automatic movements. Every element emphasizes durability and technical capability. Oceaneva watches are unapologetically bold. Their presence on the wrist is substantial, and they are built to handle conditions far beyond what most wearers will encounter. This singular focus on dive functionality defines the brand's identity. For collectors who appreciate overbuilt engineering, confident design, and purpose-driven construction, Oceaneva offers a compelling option. The watches are not versatile dress pieces, but they excel in their intended category, demonstrating that a brand can succeed by embracing a clear and consistent design philosophy, rather than trying to be everything at once. Venezianico draws inspiration from Italian art, architecture, and cultural heritage, especially Venice. This influence is visible in the texture, form, and proportion of its watches. The Redentor embodies traditional elegance, while the Nereide adds a sportier, more robust presence. Dial finishing, applied markers, and subtle texturing give depth and character to the collection. The brand balances heritage with contemporary execution, creating watches that feel expressive without being ostentatious. Each timepiece communicates Italian identity, craftsmanship, and a sense of design narrative. Venezianico appeals to collectors who value cultural reference, visual sophistication, and watches that combine personality with approachable proportions. By blending historical inspiration with modern production, the brand establishes a distinct identity while maintaining coherence across its models. Shinola is closely tied to the story of Detroit. The brand was founded with the goal of restoring manufacturing pride and skilled craftsmanship to the city, and watches became a central part of that mission. Shinola timepieces are assembled in Detroit, and while the brand does not position itself as traditional Swiss watchmaking, it places strong emphasis on care, consistency, and local involvement. That sense of place is essential to understanding Shinola. The Runwell is the watch most people recognise. It features a large, readable dial, classic numerals, and a solid case that feels reassuring on the wrist. The design is intentionally familiar, avoiding complexity in favour of clarity. Shinola uses both quartz and mechanical movements, depending on the model, which helps make the watches accessible to a wide audience. Rather than appealing only to seasoned collectors, Shinola often serves as a first step into watch ownership. The the brand's strength lies in storytelling, craftsmanship pride, and a design language that feels honest and approachable. When American mechanical watchmaking comes up, Weiss Watch Company is often part of the conversation. Founded by Cameron Weiss, the brand is based in Los Angeles and focuses heavily on domestic manufacturing. Weiss aims to rebuild a culture of mechanical watch production in the US, combining Swiss-trained expertise with local craftsmanship. Cameron Weiss designed his watches with careful attention to both case and movement. Many movement components, including bridges and plates, are made in-house, while the cases are machined in the United States. Field watches, like the standard issue field watch, define the collection with clean dials, restrained proportions, and reliable mechanical movements. Weiss is transparent about its process and limitations. The brand doesn't aim to impress with marketing or flashy features. Instead, it prioritizes craftsmanship, quality, and gradual improvement. Each watch reflects thoughtfulness and patience, appealing to collectors who value careful execution, long-term durability, and the satisfaction of supporting an American independent watch brand focused on honesty and consistency. Some independent brands are built on ambition, while others are built on experience. Lauron Ferier belongs to the second category, with decades spent at Patek Philippe shaping the founder's vision. The Garrick collection defines the brand's identity. Smooth, pebble-shaped cases, softly curved lugs and balanced dials create a calm presence. Beneath the surface, the movements show meticulous hand finishing, elegant bridges, and refined escapements. Watches like the Garrick Micro Rota and Classic Origin are appreciated for restraint, not boldness. Every element is deliberate. Nothing feels excessive. Lauron Ferier watches are for collectors who value subtlety, technical finesse, and long-term appreciation. The brand's strength lies in patience, craftsmanship, and a respect for traditional watchmaking, producing timepieces that quietly stand out through harmony and precision rather than flash or trend following. Jack Mason approaches watch design with familiarity rather than surprise. Based in Texas, the brand draws inspiration from classic sports watches, pilot watches, and everyday tool watches, refining them for modern wear. The Strato Timer and Hydra Timer exemplify this approach. Clean dials, purposeful bezels, and wearable case sizes make these watches versatile for daily use. Both quartz and automatic options are offered, balancing accessibility with mechanical interest. What makes Jack Mason appealing is focus. The brand doesn't chase trends or constant reinvention. It refines familiar ideas into functional, stylish designs that work reliably on the wrist. Collectors looking for classic sports or field watch aesthetics without unnecessary complexity will appreciate the brand's clarity and consistency. Jack Mason feels like a brand that understands its audience, producing watches that are comfortable, dependable, and visually coherent, built with thoughtful restraint rather than attention-seeking detail. Northern Watches feel shaped by environment rather than fashion. Inspired by cold climates and rugged landscapes, the brand emphasizes clarity, strength, and reliability in its design. The Northerner is a core model, featuring a solid case, legible dial, and balanced layout suited to practical use. Automatic movements are chosen for dependability, reinforcing the brand's long-term perspective. Northern Watches avoids excess. The lineup is small, consistent, and carefully refined. There's no rush to expand or follow trends, creating a clear identity across the collection. The watches appeal to collectors who value simplicity, discipline, and thoughtful execution. Each timepiece feels grounded, deliberate, and built to endure. Northern Watches demonstrates that independent brands can stand out through focus and restraint, offering designs that are honest, readable, and designed to reward careful observation rather than flashy presentation. At first glance, Marin Instruments watches resemble vintage ship instruments more than conventional wristwatches. That influence is deliberate, drawing on maritime tools and nautical history to shape the brand's identity. Large cases, bold numerals, and textured dials give the watches a distinctive character. They feel like instruments first and timepieces second, intentionally setting themselves apart from traditional designs. Marin Instruments does not aim to appeal to everyone. Instead, it commits to a visual theme rooted in naval history. These watches communicate purpose and confidence. Collectors who enjoy a strong sense of design identity and who appreciate watches that reference instruments and engineering will find Marin Instruments compelling. The combination of bold design, heritage inspiration, and deliberate character creates a clear niche, making these watches recognizable at a glance and appreciated for their thematic consistency rather than mass appeal. Nomadic Watches was created with movement in mind. The brand is designed for people who transition between cities, routines, and environments, emphasizing adaptability and clarity. Models like the Taurus and Marai balance durability with everyday wearability. Strong cases, clean dials, and automatic movements form the core of the collection, producing watches that are reliable and versatile without being specialized. Community feedback and careful refinement shape the designs over time. Rather than chasing flashy trends, Nomadic improves subtle details, ensuring consistency and practicality. The watches feel contemporary yet grounded, appealing to collectors who want timepieces that work in multiple contexts. Nomadic combines approachable design with durable construction, creating watches that are functional, stylish, and capable of adapting to different aspects of modern life. The brand's strength lies in producing versatile, thoughtfully considered watches that reward regular use without calling attention unnecessarily. Gevril carries a name connected to Swiss watchmaking traditions while functioning as a modern independent brand. Over time, it has cultivated a diverse catalogue that spans vintage-inspired designs to bold contemporary styles. Chronographs, sports watches, and textured dials are part of the collection, providing visual variety without losing cohesion. Strong case designs and colour choices reinforce a distinct presence across models. What sets Gevril apart is flexibility. Collectors can find both classic and expressive designs under one roof, bridging traditional Swiss influence with modern independent creativity. Rather than committing to a single aesthetic, the brand explores multiple directions thoughtfully, maintaining recognizability and quality. Gevril appeals to buyers seeking visual variety, combined with a legacy of craftsmanship. Its identity rests on adaptability, design experimentation, and the ability to offer watches that balance heritage inspiration with contemporary execution. Zantier Sauté approaches watch design quietly, emphasizing balance, proportion, and minimalism. The brand favors clean layouts and subtle detailing rather than visual loudness. Slim cases and uncluttered dials are hallmarks of the collection, creating timepieces that are easy to integrate into daily life. Movement choices support reliability and understated refinement, complementing the design rather than overshadowing it. Zantier Sauté rewards attention without demanding it. Collectors who value calm, thoughtful execution will appreciate the restrained aesthetic. The watches feel deliberate and controlled, maintaining coherence across the lineup. By focusing on design consistency, the brand demonstrates that simplicity can be compelling when executed with care. Zantier Sauté appeals to those who want elegance and functionality combined subtly, producing watches that are visually satisfying and comfortably wearable without relying on trendiness or aggressive styling. Heinrich Watches reflects disciplined design rooted in German tradition. Founded by Wolfgang Heinrich, the brand emphasizes structure, clarity, and practicality. The watches draw inspiration from vintage military and sports models, but are updated with modern case proportions and materials. Strong lume, readable dials, and Swiss movements ensure reliability, combining heritage aesthetics with contemporary standards. Heinrich maintains focus, avoiding unnecessary decoration. Every detail feels intentional, creating a cohesive visual language. Collectors who value disciplined design, legibility, and long-term wearability will appreciate the brand's approach. These are watches built for clarity and endurance rather than flash, appealing to those who prioritize precision, consistency, and thoughtful execution. Garrick operates on a personal scale within British independent watchmaking. Based in England, the brand focuses on traditional craftsmanship and small-scale production. Models like the S4 and Regulator showcase hand-finished bridges, visible mechanics, and carefully crafted dial layouts. Many components, including hands and bridges, are produced in-house, giving each watch a unique character. Garrick watches emphasize individuality rather than mechanical perfection in a conventional sense. The brand celebrates human touch, artisan skills, and a connection between maker and wearer. These watches appeal to collectors who value craftsmanship, personal identity, and the artistry of watchmaking. Garrick's timepieces are thoughtful, expressive, and distinctly British, standing out in the independent watch landscape through attention to detail, heritage-inspired design, and carefully executed finishing. Future Funk is a Japanese brand that leans into retro-futuristic ideas rather than traditional watchmaking history. The company started gaining attention for bringing back a style that first appeared in the 1970s and giving it a modern, affordable twist. The main appeal of Future Funk comes from its unusual way of showing time. Instead of hands, the watches use a mechanical disc system that flips numbers as they pass, almost like an old-school digital counter. The discs rotate underneath the crystal, giving you this satisfying, almost mechanical toy feeling every time the minutes change. This brand's watches highlight this concept well. They keep the case shape bold and simple, so your eyes naturally go to the spinning time display. The LED-inspired styling, chunky cases, and brushed surfaces give the watches a strong retro vibe, but the internal mechanism keeps everything smooth and reliable. It's a playful approach that stands out from typical analog or digital watches. Future Funk doesn't aim to be traditional or high-end. It aims to be fun, different, and a little nostalgic. And for many collectors, that's exactly the charm. Knot is a Tokyo-based Japanese watch brand that started with a straightforward idea: create well-made watches at accessible prices while keeping production inside Japan. The watches themselves focus on clean design. Knot keeps the cases slim, the markers simple, and the overall look easy to pair with almost anything. Nothing feels busy or exaggerated, which is why the watches work well for daily wear. The real appeal, though, comes from how customizable they are. Knot encourages people to mix and match different dials with a wide selection of straps. Leather from respected Japanese tanneries, mesh bracelets, stitched fabric, and other handcrafted options. Everything is designed to swap easily, so you can change the look of the watch depending on the mood or setting. This combination of Japanese craftsmanship and personalization is what makes Knot stand out. It offers a watch that feels thoughtful, approachable, and shaped by the hands of multiple artisans rather than a single factory line. Kikuchi Nakagua was founded in 2018 by watchmaker Tomonari Nakagua and designer Yusuke Kikuchi, a partnership built on a shared obsession with metalwork and traditional watchmaking. Even though the brand is young, it has already developed a reputation for extreme hand finishing and a waitlist that stretches for years. What really defines Kikuchi Nakagua is the way they approach each watch as both an object of art and a traditional timekeeper. At first glance, it looks clean and simple, but the level of hand polishing on the case, done using traditional techniques, is something collectors notice immediately. The lugs, bezel lines, and overall proportions feel deliberately refined rather than flashy. The Munamori follows the same approach, offering a slightly different set of details, but the same careful handwork. Every surface, edge, and contour is shaped by artisans rather than machines. Kikuchi Nakagawa may operate on a tiny scale, but their watches speak loudly through craftsmanship. At first glance, Lyman watches stand out for their clean and timeless design. The brand doesn't rely on a long history. Instead, it focuses on craftsmanship and thoughtful details that make each watch feel refined and approachable. Lyman pays attention to every element, from the dial to the case. The dials are simple but layered with subtle textures, while the markers are proportioned for clarity and balance. The hands are carefully shaped, and the polished cases reflect light smoothly, showing the brand's quiet dedication to finishing. Straps are designed to match this careful approach. Durable, comfortable, and thoughtfully styled, they complement the watches without overpowering them. The overall effect is a timepiece that feels versatile, able to move easily between casual and formal wear, while maintaining a sense of refinement. Lyman proves that simplicity, precision, and attention to detail can create modern Japanese watches that feel both contemporary and lasting, offering a balance of elegance and everyday practicality. This British independent brand dares to step outside the norm. Merles and Company creates timepieces that feel born from a mid-century design studio. The 528 stands out with its rectangular case based on the golden ratio and an asymmetric dial that doesn't just mark hours, but presents them like art. Metallic shades from the Orbit AL palette lend a cosmic glow, while the Celita movement and double-domed sapphire ensure reliability and clarity. The 369 extends that aesthetic with a modern integrated bracelet and a dial from the Stellar palette, capturing soft celestial hues. Each watch is Swiss assembled, but carries an unmistakable British personality, bold, refined, and subtly exclusive. For those who view a watch as more than an instrument of time, Merles and Company offers a perfect balance of design integrity and precision engineering, making every glance at the wrist a moment of quiet appreciation. Brew's all about pace and vibe, and you feel it the moment you see one. Back in 2015, Jonathan Ferrer launched Brew through Kickstarter, not just with another minimal watch, but with a story, one rooted in espresso machines, cafe culture, and a need to pause in the middle of chaos. And that idea, it clicked. What started with a single brew timer design grew into a full-fledged collection. The retrograph from 2018 really changed the game. Rectangular case, Seiko Mecha quartz engine, and a layout that just made sense. It looked different, and it felt confident. Every design since has layered in more of Ferrer's voice. The metric chronograph? It doesn't just look cool. It actually shows you the sweet spot to pull an espresso shot. Smart, but not in your face. Subtle details like these are why the brand exploded from just a few backers to over 15,000 units in sales. You've got watches using Ronda, 3520D quartz, sapphire crystals, and thoughtful builds. But honestly, what matters more is how they feel. Not rushed, not recycled, just right for the people who wear them. And now Brew's headed for its own New York City boutique. Not bad for a brand that started with just $1,000 and a dream built on coffee breaks. These are the small brands that impressed us and crafted watches with real character. Which one caught your attention and made you look twice at your collection? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe for more videos like this.